all the times I see these publications come out that list the top concerns that dentists have, and I started looking at some of them in some of the dental publications, and I'm looking, I asked myself a question: are they creating concerns based upon what their company provides, or are they actually talking about true concerns that dentists face all the time? And I have my sweetheart Tracy with us this time.
This is going to be fun again.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We begin our podcast right there.
Welcome, all of you fantastic dental podcast listeners, to the My Practice, My Business Dental Podcast Show, where we help dentists profit and thrive with excerpts from the clinical business of dentistry training here at My Practice, My Business. We'll be addressing and answering questions with current trends dentists and their teams face each and every day in their pursuit of this wonderful career we call dentistry. And now the host of our show, the clinical director and president at My Practice, My Business, Dr. Rob Thorup.
As I've been watching the publications, I actually had to do an investigative research to see really what the top 10 concerns were. And I'm going to just want to talk about them really quickly, what the actual top 10 concerns across the nation with dentists. Number one, low PPO reimbursements. And we'll cover these more in detail in a minute. Number two, high overhead costs. Number three, staff shortages. Number four, difficulty recruiting associate dentists. Number five, declining patient retention. Six, misleading EOB verbiage. Seven, insurance companies dictating treatment plans. Eight was insufficient training and practice management. Nine, poor work-life balance for dentists. And 10, technology and equipment costs. But you would never know that those are actually the top 10 kind of when you start reading what other people are putting out there. And I just kind of started laughing when I saw this. So and having said that, I'm like, I don't blame the other companies for putting out what they did because they're actually factual, but are they the actual top 5, top 10 concerns?
And that's part of marketing. You identify a need and you figure out ways to fulfill the need. And so if you're saying, hey, this is your problem and I can solve it, then they're going to be more inclined to obviously pick your product or your business.
Exactly. And then what's funny is AI is picking up what other people are talking about. So So it goes to prove the point you can't trust AI either.
No, you can't. Not yet.
So the first AI that we ran was number one was staffing, and number two was costs of running a dental practice. 3, real estate location. 4, regulatory standards. And I tried to actually, sweetheart, I looked up what regulatory standards, thinking that might have to do with PPO plans, but it did.
Insurance regulations. No.
It did not.
Huh.
The actual regulatory standards were OSHA. And HIPAA regulations that seem to be more powerful in the non-free states of the United States.
But that's the thing. I'm a little bit more concerned about insurance than I would be with OSHA. But okay.
Then 5 was dental anxiety. There's nothing on that first AI that had anything to do with insurance. So then we pumped out a secondary AI. And this was interesting. Changing patient demographics. That was number 1. Number 2, staff management and training. Number 3 was rising costs and insurance complexities. Now, they at least named it third. Okay. 4 was technological advancements. 5, evolving patient expectations, which I think is kind of funny if you think about that.
Okay.
Are the Kens and Karens of the world really starting to take over?
That would make more sense.
Okay. 6, public health crisis. Because I think they were pulling COVID into that. But this was a recent. I mean, this is like, this information was actually pulled up January of this year. Mm-hmm. Okay. So then you have,
regulatory compliance.
Yeah, regulatory compliance. Again, going back into OSHA. Thought that was interesting. Okay. So now we get into some of the businesses out there. And I won't name the businesses per se.
But you know what'll be fun? As you list them, I'm sure the listeners can figure out who it is that's listing them.
But I can say this. This was a phone company. I can say that because there's many of them out there.
Okay.
So Number one that they had listed was workforce shortages. Number two, financial pressures and rising operational costs. 3 was technological advancements and digital transformation. 4 was regulatory and compliance issues. And 5, evolving patient expectations and care delivery models. Now, if you think about that, they're stating a problem and that they have the solution to the majority of those problems. I thought that was, again, I'm not seeing third-party payers anywhere.
Well, again, a phone company can't really help that, can they?
Oh, I guess not. Okay. So the next one, this is kind of, this is like.
Well, you could say this one.
Okay. So this is the American Dental Association. Number one, they stated was staffing shortages. Number 2, rising operating costs. Number 3, stagnant insurance reimbursement levels. Number 4, patient no-shows. Number 5, late cancellations. And number 6, dental anxiety.
And number 3, stagnant insurance reimbursement levels is the cause, and all the others are the effects. How crazy is that?
That's kind of funny. Because, would they have staffing shortages if they could
pay appropriately?
Yeah, be able to recruit even from other industries. Some of our best team members have not gone through training.
Rising operational costs. Well, if you're getting paid more, then
patient no
now,
shows.
The patient no shows. You have team members that are not trained on how to handle those no-shows because they're not paid appropriately.
And late cancellations. That's almost
it's
one
all
of the
about
same
team.
thing.
Yeah.
Dental anxiety comes because of lack of financial stability in the practice.
You don't have any money. Yeah,
Okay, that's kind of funny. Okay, here we go again. Here's the next one was
a consultant.
This is a consulting company. Number 1 was last-minute patient cancellations, which goes into how to handle them. 2, difficulty finding new patients. Again, that is in their wheelhouse. 3, staffing shortages. There again. 4, hiring strategies for dental practice owners. And then 5, teledentistry.
That was weird.
Everybody's like, this whole push on teledentistry kind of cracks me up because, in our practice, we've always given my cell number to all of our patients because we love them and care about them. And I've been doing teledentistry for 30 years.
But it's new, Rob.
That's so weird.
It kind of reminds me of the All-on-4s that they changed the name of.
No, it went from implant retained dentures to All-on-4.
Yeah. And how teledentistry is just another name for something that's always been there.
Just another name for, give your cell phone out, doc. It's okay. You'll live. This is another practice management group. Number 1, fear of the unknown. That was the number 1 concern dentists have. Okay. And I say that laughingly because I'm sorry, docs. That you docs are great. You've been tackling the unknown since the first year in undergraduate school. Good for you. I don't know. Anyway, is that because we become such a soft society?
Who knows?
I'm going to call it soft society.
I think you need to write that down. We're going to use that in the future.
Instead of the other terms. 2, fear of taking on more debt. 3, fear of the DSO or group practice giants. 4,
this is a group. So this is a DSO that's actually pushing their product, which is join us. And so the fear of the unknown is we're going to save you. Yeah. Because we will be
because we understand your top 5 fears.
There you go.
These are not the top 5 concerns that dentists have. Fear of not knowing what to look for and fear of a recession.
So they're going to be there to protect them. That's their problem versus solution. How crazy is that?
That's okay. That's pretty funny.
So we could keep going on forever.
Well,
this one. This is amazing.
Yeah. I almost said who it was. Okay. So there's this is a publication. Number 1 was team communication. 2, the business side of the practice. Those are decent. I'm going to give them those. 3, the dentist does not make their own post-op home calls.
Whoa, that is very, very specific.
Uh, 4 was hygienists do not make their own post-op phone calls, and 5, failure to keep up with technology. Okay. Very interesting that
The
is...
phone calls is throwing
e-
me off a little bit.
Yeah, I don't even know where that's at. Okay. Then we have... this was actually a conglomeration of 3 different people. So number 1 was staffing. I should say 3 different entities. Number 1 was staffing. Number 2, office culture. And we hear about that all the time, about culture.
Yeah.
How about you cross-train and everybody get along and stop having verticals of individual responsibilities? 3, new patients. 4, the right technology, and 5, marketing technology. I'm like, okay. Next one, again, is a consulting company. Number 1, staffing. Number 2, meshing worker generations. And number 3, knowledge of workers. So again, those don't even come into apply really. And then this next one was recruitment and retention, and hygienists and dental assistants, schools, more of them we need. That okay, well that again, that's not the business of dentistry. And then empower the hygiene department, and patients are not accepting treatment, thus the hygiene department needs to make it up.
So the focus is on hygiene. I wonder what type of entity this person is.
Exactly. I think both these were hygienist consultants, as I recall. Another one, financial decrease, and create or refine systems by incorporating technology to operate more consistently and efficiently. That's what it always comes down to with consultants. Work harder, not smarter. Cram the schedule, be more efficient, fill in every little tiny slot on the schedule. That's how you're going to increase production, but that has nothing to do with procedural profitability. Interesting. Here's another one. This is actually from a person that, they have a consulting company.
But they focus on transitions.
Yeah, interesting. The economy was number 1, staffing shortages. 3 was DSOs aren't going away, but neither are doctor-to-doctor transitions. 4, PPO participation. 5 was the importance of knowledgeable advisors. And again, nothing on the actual top concerns that dentists really face in the trenches. Here's another phone company, another VoIP system, retaining patients in a digital world. 2, that was number 1. Number 2 is competing with corporate dentistry. Do you feel we have to compete with corporate dentistry?
What's really great, no, we actually receive a lot of patients who leave a DSO practice, like patients, because they don't like it. And so they're coming to the solo practitioners.
Interesting. When you can deliver the Disney experience and they don't feel like a number. Yeah. Number 3, the increasing costs of running a dental practice. Yeah, that's not bad. 4, staying up to date with evolving technological advancements. I like that. 5, dealing with the rise of dental anxiety. Here's anxiety again. And again, anxiety is a real thing, and it comes down to financial stability in the practice. And 6 was adapting to changing regulatory standards. Again, there goes that regulatory standard thing.
See, in that one, because just like the other phone company, I think they're talking about like phone recording and what the regulations are around that communication. Yeah. I think that's what they're focusing on.
This one is a dental publication that I love this guy for what he's put together for all these years. This is one of my favorites. The number 1 they had was treating people instead of dental insurance.
Good.
And I love that. Number 2, well, I'm just going to give a hats off to Dental Town. What the hell?
Yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah, I loved Dental Town. Seems to have their poop in a group. You got their ducks in a row, you know? So treating people instead of dental insurance, and what they're saying there is stop treating to insurance limitations. Number 2, new stuff doesn't equal new patients. God, thank you. I actually loved these top 5 because, again, it's like, I'm sorry, if technology doesn't have an ROI, no, don't buy it. And it's like you're told by all the people out there that, oh, if you buy this particular gizmo, you're going to be able to market yourself as blah, 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 and patients are going to flood your practice. We've been told that crap over and over. Please, docs, especially you young ones out there, don't believe that. Number 3, dental insurance provider versus out-of-network. Again, they don't understand how to be profitable with PPO plans. And that's why sometimes they'll push out of network, being out of network, but that doesn't work in most areas. 4, patient education. That's powerful. 5, employees versus team. And that's just getting your team all on the same page and having, acting like a special forces unit instead of individually. So hats off to Dental Town. I really liked actually where they were at. Here's another one. Low employee retention. That's number 1. Number 2, they stated was financial metrics. Number 3 was weak demand for services. I don't think we really see that.
Yeah, we don't have that problem.
No, most dentists don't. Number 4, unmanageable debt from equipment purchases. Yeah. Number 5, reputational damage related to mismanagement of medical emergencies.
What? That could be interpreted so many different ways. Yeah. So I'm a little confused.
I don't know. Okay, here's a really smart one now. You ready for this one? This company is absolutely amazing. They have all their ducks in a row. They got all their poop in a group. They've got people with business degrees and real world experience, and they pass laws that go to other states. They understand insurance contracts and
who is this amazing company?
They're called My Practice, My Business. And number one, procedural profitability with PPO and fee-for-service patients. What a concept. If you're not profitable, then all these other concerns will become a concern.
Now, before you list the other ones,
yeah.
How did we obtain these top concerns?
From all of the hundreds, thousands of dentists that we have trained
and not
their
trained.
Teams. And not
How
trained.
amazing is this? So this is the thing that kills me is, did we, in this list, omit any of these concerns saying, oh, well, we don't want to talk about that because we can't help it.
So we can't help you there.
We're not going to admit anything. These are the top concerns that we just need to address. And again, if we can't solve the problem, we should at least do the right thing and redirect that person to the right...
To somebody that can do it.
Exactly. And that's what you should be doing. All these businesses should be doing.
Yep. Yeah. So procedural profitability. And again, I mean, like I spoke of in a podcast earlier, when I see dentists out there and they're like, I am profitable on my procedure. Okay, show me your source. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, disclose your direct operating cost per hour. Mm-hmm. Now let's look at your reimbursement rate. And they never want to go that far because all of a sudden you and I are talking about things that make them very uncomfortable. They think they're profitable and they think they're, all that in a bag of potato chips, but they're not.
I think they look at it and say, is there money in the bank account? And that's probability.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing is you could go work at McDonald's and live a very tight lifestyle and not spend money and live with your parents. You could have money in your bank account.
The average net income of dentists across this nation range from $90,000 a year up to $167,000 of net income across the majority of all states. Like not in the super high earner area states, mm-hmm. but the majority of states, like I think it was 38 states, 39 states. That's what they're making. And so they feel like, look at me, I've got a brand new, Toyota Corolla I'm driving, and I'm not saying that money's everything, and I'm not saying status symbol, because I'm the last person to be a status symbol because I wear my Mickey Mouse shirt and my my short pants to work every day, and I still drive a truck. So it's like, no, I'm not talking about status symbol crap. I'm talking about actually making enough money to be able to retire, buy technology, be able to pay your team what they're worth, be able to pay yourself what you're worth. Yeah. I just saw the Dell Investment Group again. One of the social media posts that I follow, and they were talking about incomes for dentists, and this guy was like, this guy they had on their quoting. A lot of the dentists responded that this particular person's up in the night when they're talking about relating it to medical physicians and nursing ratios and how much pay and the inequality of blah, 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 and how capitalism doesn't work. And I'm like, dude, why don't you move to a socialist country right now? Just get out of here now. And I just started laughing. No, I'll take the United States of America any day over any nation. So even with all of our little hiccups. But here's the funny thing that I'm looking at, and that is, I think that we dentists, and listen to what I'm saying, I think this is really important. I'm having an epiphany right now. I think dentists have been repressed slowly year after year after year, and the ADA and all the labor statistics have shown that our incomes have remained stagnant or have decreased, and especially when you're comparing it to the purchasing power of the dollar, cost of living. No, I mean, dentists used to make $400,000 and $500,000 a year on average back when I started, and then it slowly has gone down because overhead costs have come out of the dentist salary. And what's funny is I think it's been such a slow moving cancer that we really don't even realize we've had it all these years. And so finally, a company like ours comes along and teaches people how to be profitable. And I don't think a lot of people aren't ready for the cure. They're like, they've been so blinded.
Is it kind of a weird little like Stockholm syndrome only?
So, yeah.
I'm trying to think of like why we have this mentality, and I keep telling these teams when I train them, listen, I used to work in medical. I would look the patient dead in the eye and say it'll be $20,000, and I would wait for them to hand over their credit card. But in dental, all of a sudden we have this fear of
it's going to be $20. Yeah. It's going to be $20 for your fluoride.
I'm so sorry.
Are you okay?
So sorry.
But do you want me to bill the insurance first?
And instead of saying let's get you scheduled, we used to say, "Do you want to? Are you sure?"
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We've gotten so passive aggressive.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny to watch.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. No, keep going. I'm just laughing.
Oh, no, I think this is funny.
I know. So, number one, procedural profitability with PPO and fee-for-service patients. I just want to tag that one more time in the state of Utah. Dentists on their fee-for-service patients, what we charge for two-surface posterior or whatever, it doesn't even cover the direct operating costs per hour to do a fee-for-service patient.
But that's what the guy down the street's charging.
That's what they're charging. Yeah, so we set our fees based on fee surveys instead of business principles that every other company sets their fees on. Okay. Number two, understanding PPO contracts, state laws that govern dentistry for procedural profitability. Now, that's number two.
Yep.
Number three, business knowledge and skills for the entire team. Not just the office manager, doc. Stop pushing it on to the OM to know everything. And because the large majority of them have never had a business class, let alone a business degree. So stop sitting there putting the pressure on them to run your $1 million business without giving them the skills that they need to be able to do it efficiently and easily.
Here's the thing I just realized is that's really important. I'm thinking about the doctor that hires somebody, again, out of high school. This person has no business knowledge. And so they say, well, you know what? They just need to learn the basics, right? Just the basic protocols. Let's set something up where they just kind of follow a checklist and then they can at least get the job done. So that's where they bring people in with protocols and checklists and goals, because the rest of it they think is beyond that front office person. And that's not true. You've got to give them the knowledge to be able to make these decisions on what's best for the practice. And protocols and procedures might not work for that practice based on business information. Maybe they need to pivot a little bit and think for themselves. So I totally agree with that one. I like that.
I think and just to add to that, I know where you're going with that. There's a lot of consultants out there that teach that teach protocols and what's the other word I'm looking for? Protocols and procedures.
Bar graphs.
I mean they're systems.
Yeah, systems.
Placing in systems that again lack business training. So it's this is the way we've always done it. Let's just keep doing it.
Well, that's just assuming that these people can't think for themselves, and that's what really upsets me is
how many times do you have front office team members come into training and you teach them something that they've totally have said, well, that's kind of what I thought I should be doing, but the doctor said I shouldn't do that.
Or the consultant.
Or the consultant said I shouldn't do that. And now you've not only verified that I should be doing it, but you've presented the why behind I should be doing this. And now it makes total sense, and then they all freak out.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And that's the best part of my job is helping these team members realize that, unless you're in the dental practice every single day, each practice has its own personality, its own problems, its own bottlenecks, its own DOC. There's so many different factors. And if we can help them understand what to do with that information and how to optimize it and how to make it work for them, again, I don't want to assume.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume that all practices are the same. We have to do it this way. This is just the way it is, and bully these team members if they question me. I want them to understand the why.
So what you're saying is, instead of cookie cutting every single practice is what
see most of the time. Yeah,
we actually teach them the business why behind what they do, and then they're able to adapt that to their very specific practice.
How cool is that? You're absolutely right.
Isn't that amazing? And I'm going to go to the online billing systems. Online billing companies, and I know you know who I'm talking about, who sit there and write off tens of thousands of dollars in some practices per month, other practices per quarter.
You just struck a nerve with me right now.
I know, and I know you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
docs, if you have a billing company that says, I don't care what the law is, I don't care what the contract says, if the EOB says to write it off, I'm going to write off your service that you performed without questioning.
Well, here's the problem. The docs don't even know that's happening until we bring it to their attention when they come through the training. And that's like just 30 days before they fire them and cancel their service after they train with us, because they realize, oh my gosh, look how much they're writing off, and they shouldn't be writing all that off.
I had a company that you and I talked to not too long ago, and they were talking about writing off a service. And they said, well, it is what it is. We don't have the bandwidth to go and call insurance every single time.
Neither do we. We don't teach. That's not what we teach, to call insurance.
But then what was interesting, she was saying she doesn't question the bill. She just writes it off. But we brought up the point of buildups. And I said, okay, what about this insurance company that tells you to write off a buildup because it's inclusive?
Or it doesn't meet the requirements.
Inclusive was the main one that we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, well, we know it's wrong, so we don't write it off. Okay, well, what's the difference then? Well, we call them and they need some information on the buildup and then they pay it. Great. So you are taking the time to question the bill or the EOB and to not write things off just because the EOB says to write it off. Explain to me why that's the exception to the rule. I don't understand it. And so that's the thing is we need to make sure that we're not hiring entities or people that are purposely writing our services off. It's ridiculous. Sorry, I get on a tangent. Go ahead.
No, it's I hope all of you listening are reading between the lines on that. Number 4, competitive salaries based on team ownership of cross-training and skills. I like basing my salaries based upon everybody in my practice gets a base salary, including the hygienists, and the hygienists get a percentage of the production because we collect it over the counter or from the insurance company all the time. We don't have a problem collecting on anything really, but the rest of the team members, it's based on their skills, based on how they performed. Each pay period will determine whether their baseline of $20 an hour stays at 20 or they get 22, 25, 28, 30, up to 35 sometimes. And for Utah, that's pretty high salary for the jobs that they're doing. And I love rewarding them when they go the extra mile. Like this particular week, our team went the extra mile, the last pay. And so it's going to be reflective in their pay period. But the pay period before that, they were lazy butts. And so I think they realized that when they saw their paychecks. And they know that the commissions, people call it bonusing. Bonusing's a gift, commissions earned. So when they receive commissions, I base the commission on, was this employee a $22 an hour employee, a 25, 26, 7, 8, 30? That's how I commission based on the hours they worked.
And what's really great is our base is higher than
our base is higher than our base is on the experienced end anyway. So
either way they're happy.
Yeah, they're happy people.
They could be happier if we do a commission.
That's right. So that's number 4. Number 5, team communication and marketing skills. Boy, I'll tell you, patients can be lost with poor phone skills in a hurry. And my team, I hate this. I've just used one for example. Well, thanks for coming in. Have a good one. Oh, God. Tracy's laughing at me right now. I hate that phrase. Have a good one what? You know?
We're hearing it a lot. Like we went through a drive-through the other day and we heard that too. And you and I looked at each other and started laughing.
Have a good one.
You're right. I don't know whether or not it's just a generation thing, but
I know. Hey,
gosh,
how about
so
hey, thanks for coming in and allowing us to take care of your oral health care. We really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. Does that sound like
day sounds great?
Doesn't
Can't you
that
say
sound
the word
better?
Day? Exactly.
And I know there's companies out there that teach those like they're really anal about communication skills,
well,
and they give you
nobody needs to sound like a robot.
yeah,
right?
and they give you very specific things to say, and I like things just coming from the heart. So anyway, but marketing skills. Tracy, thanks so much for coming in today, and you just bring such joy to our office. You know, when you come in, you're just happy. You're never grumpy. If you have any family or friends who are like you, we'd love to have you give us a referral, and we'll give you a gift certificate if you send somebody our way. Let us know who it is. If they're not like you, if they're grumpy and Kens and Karens, the dental office down the street, they're taking those people. We don't want them. So
how fun is that they get to giggle a little bit? Well, and by the way,
makes them laugh.
I hope all of you listening to the podcast before obviously check your state with regulations on gift cards and gifts for referrals. In our state, it has to be a nominal fee. It cannot, they encourage you not to do a cash like a credit on an account unless it's for non-covered services.
So it has to be for non-covered services if you're going to credit their account.
And it's mainly an issue with insurance companies because your insurance company, you signed a contract that
to charge so much.
The provider shall make 100%, all reasonable attempts to collect 100% of the patient portion. And so if you're giving a credit on the account for those services that are covered, it gets a little bit gray. So
yeah,
I'd stay away from that.
If they audit you, then they can say, well, our fee structure was at $100 for that service, but you discounted it $20. So you owe us money back because we paid you a percentage based on 100 and
exactly.
You discounted it to 80. Therefore,
it's a stupid game. And so stay away from it. We always like gift cards. Who doesn't like Starbucks?
And then point number 6 that we hammer on is return on investment based technology, meaning like CEREC, holy crap. I can show you the ROI on CAD/CAM technology all day, every day. When it comes to CBCT, based upon direct ROI of what you're charging your patient for each scan, you're breaking even, but the intrinsic value is huge. There's other technologies out there that I won't mention that sell for over $100,000, and I'm sorry, there's not a huge ROI. There's some intrinsic value, but you can obtain the intrinsic value in other ways and not spend $140,000. So
I have to tell you, I don't know if you remember this, but a few years back, one of those reps called on the phone and tried to talk to you. And I was like, no, I'll handle this one. Right. So I was the gatekeeper office manager.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you're going to be known as having this technology and you're going to have so many more patients, exactly the arguments that they like to make. And I said, great. What am I charging for that? Well, you don't charge for it. You just see more people. And I said, great. Your product's known for taking a longer time to do the procedure. So that means the cost of using this technology is going to be
just went up
larger. And you're telling me I can't charge for that? So, well, you probably can. Well, can you guarantee that I'm going to get a
we guarantee
return?
Our training.
And he was so flustered by the time I was done with it. He just hung up. He never called back, by the way, ever.
Good. I don't want to talk to him anyway. And then number 7, treatment presentation and the customer experience. What that means is treatment presentation. Are we connecting to the why? Are we connecting to the limbic system of the brain? Are we making oral health care emotionally meaningful to our patients, or are we like everybody else? And the customer experience, I just call it out. Give your customer the Disney experience, or your patient that Disney experience, that reason to come back time and time again because of a great experience.
Well, and I think that, our whole thing in our practice is transparency, education, choice, right? And so when these patients come in and we are extremely transparent with them, we tell them their options. Everybody here listening obviously knows that we offer choice when it comes to not going from a PFM to an all porcelain, but we all know that all porcelain crowns have different costs and some are better than a lot are better than others. And so talking to these patients and saying, listen, either way, we're never going to do something inferior. So I want to make sure that you know you're going to be well taken care of here, regardless of what you choose. And I love that.
So I want to now bounce back to the top 10 actual concerns that dental practices have.
Not in any particular order.
And these are just the top 10. Yeah. First one, low PPO reimbursement. And that's like, these were in order.
Yeah.
According to the major statistical analysis. So low PPO reimbursement. Yeah, we have the answer to that. Very simple. 2, high overhead costs. We teach you how to increase cash flow, net revenue, not gross busy work revenue. And so high overhead costs, we can help with that. But we don't have all the answers to that one. Okay?
No, I mean, there's still going to be things that need to be purchased.
3, staff shortages. Yeah. Well, when you're actually increasing cash flow and you're profitable by procedure, then you can afford to recruit the top people out there and retain them. I mean, I love our team right now. I've tried
a great team.
Yeah, I've tried to fire them multiple times. They just keep coming back. So yeah, that's not, again, we help with that, but there are definitely like hygienist issues right now, but that's slowly turning the corner. 4, difficulty recruiting associate dentists. Now, we have the answer to that because our associate dentists from other practices that come through our training are making way more than the associate dentists of practices that don't go through training. So, boom, we got that one. 5, declining patient retention. I'm telling you right now, we teach practices how to offer choice and do it ethically, legally, and morally. Choice promotes trust. And when trust increases, patient retention increases. Sorry, we got that one. 6, misleading EOB verbiage. We actually passed a law to prevent that, and we teach offices how to battle that with the insurance plans and get on 3-way calls with the insurance rep, the office, and the patient, and the insurance company rep is apologizing to the patient all the time for their misleading verbiage on EOBs. And we teach you how to combat that. So we got that one. 7, insurance companies dictating treatment plans. Well, they're going to continue doing that, but we have passed laws in the state of Utah that are now being copied by other states on how to combat the perceived insurance limitations. 8, insufficient training and practice management. We nail that. You're being taught by people with business degrees, MBAs, bachelors, associates, and real-world dental experience in understanding insurance contracts and state laws and how to be profitable by procedure, applying those very things. 9, poor work-life balance for dentists. My heart melts when I see the docs' lives change from our training. And you just have to listen to their testimonies on our webpage. We don't tell them what to say. They're real. And 10, technology and equipment costs. Well, we can't help that one. That's the suppliers. Technology and equipment cost, but you ready for this? We teach you how to charge for it. So actually, we can't control the cost, but we can show you how to be profitable on most technology. Not all technology, but most. So that's why we have so much fun here at My Practice, My Business, because we have actually created a solution to problems that exist and not created a solution to a problem that really does not exist.
And then I wonder why we don't sleep at all. I'm looking at all this stuff and the wide variety, and I just realized we have another fun thing that we'll announce later that we're doing as well in the background. And it's just fun to see that we are helping in a lot of these. I'm looking at the top 10, I'm looking at all of them. And what's always fun is if there is a problem that we can't address, we will find somebody to help. And that's what I love.
Yeah. Like, for example, payroll and HR and medical insurance and disability insurance. And we don't do that.
Nope.
We have an incredible company that we refer our clients to, that this company takes care of so many businesses in not just the state of Utah, but nationwide. And they are fantastic. Everybody uses them, loves them. IT, we don't have, well, I'll just state the company we use is HelpSide. IT, nobody does it better in dental design systems. You get what you pay for. Do you want to have great IT? Do you not? If you want to be able to take a staff break and go up in the mountains on a horsey trip fishing and get out of
We got a company for that too.
We got a company for that too that's out of Lander, Wyoming. We go every year. These are things that we can't do. That goes back to work-life balance.
Work-life balance. Well, and you know what? What I love about that is all these companies we refer, we don't do kickbacks, and so we recommend them because they're good, and there's no fiduciary interest. There's no reason behind it other than the fact that they take good care of our people.
Emergency meds for practice. We got a company for that.
We've got collections.
And collections.
We know it's really crazy.
Yeah.
Not many of our clients use that company because they
don't have collection problems. What a concept.
So, dang it, I got to work on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate all of you listening to this podcast. Please, 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 let us help you. Let us help you run your practice in a way that you've never dreamed before. Dentists don't know what they don't know. And once they're shown the pathway to running their business and how easy it is, how simple it is, and not making it this big, hard process of office protocols. No. Going to the dentist should be no different than going to the grocery store. And that's what we teach. And we have been very successful for years and years. We want to thank all of our wonderful clients out there listening to our podcast. Thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your life and teaching you the clinical business of dentistry, and for all your continued support. We appreciate you. And for all of you that are contemplating training with us, don't wait. Get on the phone, call the company. Let's get you in and give you the business training that you need and deserve. Anything to add, sweetheart?
Have a fantastic day.
Take care.
Thank you for being with us today. Since 2006, My Practice, My Business has been teaching dentists and their teams business skills, dental insurance contractual protocols, and state laws governing how to profitably bill patients fairly for the need-based services they provide. What's more, we guarantee our training, unlike other dental consulting companies in the industry. Simply stated, if you don't increase your net revenue, we don't get paid. We call it dental consulting the way it should be. We believe there's never been a more important time than now for dentists to experience and implement our key methods, knowledge, and business training within their dental practices. To learn more about our guaranteed, no-risk clinical business of dentistry training that is changing dental practices for the better, just go to our website, mypracticemybusiness.com, and surf our pages for additional information about our company and the services we provide. When you're ready, give us a call and get scheduled for the most profitable dental business training that you will ever experience. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us. Thank you again and have a fantastic day.